For 2 centuries, U.S. policy in the Western Hemisphere has balanced strategy, economics, and security. Nearby nations like Venezuela and Cuba have featured prominently in this evolving diplomatic landscape. From early doctrines to modern sanctions, decisions reflected regional interests and global dynamics. In 1823, President James Monroe warned European powers against new colonization or interference in the Americas. The Monroe Doctrine set a precedent for U.S. influence and hemispheric self-determination. Through the 19th and early 20th centuries, U.S. trade and diplomacy expanded across the Caribbean and Latin America. Economic interests often intertwined with political influence and security concerns. Commercial routes, debts, and stability shaped decisions in capitals from Washington to regional seats of power. Venezuela's oil wealth made it central to energy markets, drawing sustained U.S. economic engagement. The Roosevelt Corollary asserted U.S. intervention rights when European creditors threatened involvement. During the Cold War, U.S. policy sought to limit communist influence in the hemisphere. Cuba's 1959 revolution realigned Havana's politics and foreign relations. The Bay of Pigs and the Cuban Missile Crisis marked decisive confrontations with global repercussions. For decades, Washington and Caracas maintained strong energy ties and broad cooperation during democratic periods. Leadership changes under Hugo Chavez and later Nicolás Maduro brought policy divergence and periodic tensions. In the 21st century, the United States imposed targeted sanctions on Venezuelan officials and entities. Measures cited governance and human rights concerns and sparked international debate on impact and effectiveness. Parallel diplomatic efforts sought negotiations, humanitarian access, and electoral frameworks. Havana and Caracas deepened ties in the 2000s, linking energy supplies with professional services. Oil for services arrangements influenced regional diplomacy and domestic economies. Beginning in the early 1960s, the United States enacted an embargo in response to nationalizations and alignments. Over time, different administrations adjusted travel, remittances, and diplomatic engagement. U.S. officials at times invoke the Monroe Doctrine's legacy when addressing regional security and economic issues. Engagement often blends alliances, development and law of the sea, and democratic governance frameworks. U.S. relations with Venezuela and Cuba reflect centuries of strategy, and then commerce, and competing visions. As regional and global conditions change, policies continue to evolve, shaped by history and present realities.